Hello. It's been a little while, but I think it's time to get back to that angel deck. Lately, I've been moving through such a big time of change and uncertainty, so my daily practices have become the most important thing to keep me rooted and on track and sane. And whenever I don't feel like getting on my mat, I just put on some lavender oil and it helps me drop right in.
Start to slow down your breathing here. Sound of your breath as you exhale.
One of the practices I've loved most over the years is picking cards. I like to pick at least 3 or 4 different cards every morning because I like to think they tell a story. Using so many different people's decks over the years, I have definitely learned what I love and what I don't like as much about decks, and this practice has been a huge inspiration for me in making my own deck. This is the year that I realized that I truly am an artist, because whenever I'm not creating anything, I feel so terrible. I feel like I am not myself. I don't know who I am. I don't know what my purpose is. All these silly little thoughts that completely are erased when I'm working on a project that I care about. So let's work on a project that I care about. You may recall that I started creating my own angel deck in previous episodes. I've already created the first 15 cards of the deck, and so far they have been watercolor angel auras. But I have a little problem right now. I have been traveling non-stop, and it's not gonna stop anytime soon. Since we last hung out on YouTube, I've been on a wild adventure waiting for an apartment in Perth to be renovated. And I popped in for a few months to begin to set up my office there. Got a nice desk and just a few of the very basics in place while I was there. However, there were a few basics that did not get taken care of, like the bathroom and the kitchen. So it's not really livable there at the moment, which means I have been spending most of this year pet sitting, traveling around, making excuses for why I cannot make art, because I don't have a studio or an easel or a place that's dedicated for my art just yet. There will be quite a bit more travel in store for me this year while I wait to see what happens in my life, but I'm done making excuses. It's time to create things, even if the conditions aren't perfect. So, I've been trying to figure out, how do I travel and paint and scan and film and put together the deck on the computer and all the things? I don't even have the computer anymore that I had before, so I actually need to start by recreating the deck on this computer in a different program that I'm using now instead. Luckily, I have all the artwork files perfectly organized, so I just need to pop them in, and then I will figure out this whole like traveling artist thing later. So now that I have my deck reformatted and laid out in the deck, yay, I need to solve this problem of traveling and creating. It is such a conundrum. But here's the thing, there's several different parts to this deck. So let me get my notebook. So I think I'm gonna start working on the root chakra and just playing around with some ideas on my iPad and see if that's even a possibility to replicate the look and feel of watercolor on an iPad. Let's try. I have no idea if this will work, but I'm going to start by making a very simple template in Procreate using one of the existing designs in the deck, so that I can see what it will look like when I create the painting and I can make sure I create it at the right size. I am all about creating things by hand as much as possible, especially watercolors, because the fun of it is you don't know how it's going to turn out and you don't have control over it. But I'm going to be on my next trip for about 6 weeks. So if I do not work on this deck at some point, it's just never going to be complete. So let's see if I can play around with this template and create a design for a chakra card that I actually kind of like. Like I said, we're starting with the root chakra. Which, yes, I do see the irony here, seeing as I am the furthest person from rooted in the world at the moment. But despite not having a stable or set home at the moment, I believe that it is still possible to feel rooted, to still feel safe and grounded and like your needs are met. I decided to include the chakra cards in this deck because chakra healing is something that the angels help me with all the time to show me what is blocked and help me get things flowing in each of the 12 different energy centers. When the root chakra is in balance, you can feel rooted no matter what your life circumstances might be. It's at precisely this point that I'm realizing that digital just does not measure up to real watercolors. I love how the edges are so random and organic and so not something that could be replicated by a computer. So I need to take a step back, take a break, and marinate on my next steps. It is super hot out, but I love it. It's like a free sauna. People pay for this, okay? And it's sunset, and I'm journaling with my baguette, as you may have noticed. And I'm getting ready to go off to New Mexico, so I'm gonna have to continue my brainstorming there. And yeah, we'll just have to see how this unfolds, so come along.
Pressing out of the arms into the leg.
Hello from New Mexico. I made it, and it's just me and a couple of dogs. and lots of chickens who unfortunately do like to peck at my toenails. Don't do it. Don't do it. Guess what? I didn't come alone. Paint, paper, brushes, and a scanner, which I'm gonna have to mail back to myself when I leave, maybe. I also already brought this little goodie bag, which is kind of more pastel colors, and the famous gold palette. This one I might need 2 hands for, to be honest. You know, that thing. This is a card that I made, but I never had the chance to scan, so we'll definitely be doing that. Here's my little template so that I know how big to paint. And then, of course, the notebook that has the list of all of the cards. When it's been a little while since I've done any painting at all, it takes me a while to get in the flow. One of the things I love most about this deck, and one of my goals for this deck, is to make the paintings as quickly as possible. That way there's no time for overthinking, you're just translating the energy, letting it come through, and trusting that it's enough. Once I have enough options to choose from, I'm ready to move on to the next chakra, orange, which of course decides to spill all over me. I'm actually really loving this super messy round shape because it kind of reminds me of what I would imagine a chakra to look like. Just orbs of energy radiating out. And of course there's my favorite part, setting up the scanner so that it actually scans to the computer. And we are connected. So let's try scanning the card that I never got a chance to scan first, Archangel Haniel, and see how it goes. Archangel Haniel is one of my favorite angels, and I think I actually painted this when I wasn't recording. It just came through me on the first try, and I was immediately happy with it. Archangel Haniel is the archangel of your intuition, of psychic abilities, of natural rhythms like moon cycles, and she helps us embrace our inner wisdom, balance our emotions, tune into our inner knowing, and align with our authentic life path. Alright, I have painted and scanned the 7 chakras and that other card that I just happened to have floating around for Haniel. But of course now I cannot open the file, so I've done everything I possibly could. I've edited each of the paintings, but I can't put it in the file to see what it will actually look like on the cards. So I'm gonna have to try again tomorrow and finish up then. Good morning. We are on a lovely walk this morning, and well, that's kind of later than the morning now, but we're on a lovely walk today. The file has opened on the computer, so I'm ready to head back and finish these cards. Let's go. Alright, first look at the root chakra. And we have Archangel Haniel as well. I love how that one turned out. It's my favorite colors. And one of my favorite angels as well. It's also the angel of astrology, intuition, all the magical things, like the moon. There's the root chakra. I feel like it should be a bit darker though, especially in this part. So I'm wondering if I can do something crazy. Ooh, that looks actually really beautiful. It looks like kind of sexy even. You see, I still like using digital tools, But I want to start with something human. I read a really good quote the other day that AI can only learn by looking backwards, and humans create by moving forward. All right, I think we like this one. I don't know about you guys, but it looks beautiful. I wanted it to be rich, and that other one was kind of wimpy. Here is the sacral. I'm not sure about how far down this goes. I kind of want to play with the edge of this one. Ooh, that's actually quite pretty, kind of. It also looks like a cinnamon roll. Well, there you have it. I now have the first 23 cards complete, and I'm so happy that I decided to stick with going analog, at least at first, and sticking with my original plan. It is so good to be getting back into working on a project I care about. Of course, there were a million interruptions, a million things that don't work out, sitting and waiting for computers and technology and all that kind of stuff. But I hope this just kind of like helps normalize too, like how the creative process does go. It's not like you didn't know that, but a lot of times we see this like beautiful, shiny process, especially on social media, and it's never actually that way. And so when we do creative projects and we run into setbacks, a lot of times we let it stop us because we don't realize like that's so normal. It's normal for things to break and not work, and especially technology to be all funky. But in the end, you get there when you're committed and you're true to your vision and your passion. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'm looking forward to continuing the rest of the deck next time.